Welcome to the Hacking Your Leadership guest series, where we explore leadership and culture through the eyes of leaders around the world.
That's right, Chris. We hand-selected leaders that we believe are positively influencing leadership in their industries. We sent them 4 questions we think are important in gaining insight to their leadership beliefs and style.
If you'd like to be part of the Hacking Your Leadership guest series, shoot us an email to guest@hackingyourleadership.com and let's talk.
And now, today's guest.
My name is Elizabeth Boyd. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of the Excellence in Retail blog. And thank you for listening to the Hacking Your Leadership podcast guest series. I am thrilled to have been invited to speak a little bit about my background and talk a little bit about who influenced me and who's been most impactful in my very long career. The most impactful leaders for me, when I sort of recollect my entire career and all of the amazing people that I've worked with, I can sort of boil it down to 2 people that I have directly worked with who have inspired and motivated me to be the best version of myself every single day. The first person that I'll talk about is Robin Levitt, and Robin was my director of stores when I worked at Baby Guest, Guest Kids, and Guest Home Collection, and that was about 20 years ago. I have kept in touch with Robin over these last 20 years. She is no longer in retail, but I think when I, again, recollect what I've learned from her and where she really impacted me was the fact that she was so kind and so real from my very first interaction with her to even today when I speak with her. She has always allowed me to bring my creativity and my ability to innovate into the dialogues that we've had. And when we worked together, she allowed me to bring that into the organization that was sort of forming and kind of learning who they were and creating this culture. And I think one of the things that I saw that really stood out to me about her is that she wanted everybody to be an individual. There was absolutely no room for cookie cutter, sort of zero charisma people on her team. She hired people because she saw who they were. And that's what resonated with her, was each individual's ability to bring something different and unique to the business. And I really have always appreciated that. When I think about culture, I think about her ability to hold a group of very different people to a certain standard in customer experience and visual merchandising and all of the components that go into this retail world that we work in quite often. She allowed people to be themselves, and she was always there if you needed to talk to her about something, bounce ideas off of her, just always accessible and available. The second person I will talk about was Jordan Nelson, and I worked with her at Carter's and at Rag Shop. She was the vice president of stores, and very similar to Robin, she allowed people to be themselves, and she was always accessible. You never got an "I'm busy" from her. You never got, "No, you can't do that." She was always there to allow you to make mistakes. She was there to inspire people, and she was there to help everybody be better. And I really appreciated that about my time with her. She taught me a lot about the accessibility piece of leadership, which is something that I constantly focus on, making sure that I'm never too busy to support the people and be available to them when they need me in the moment. So those really were the 2 most impactful people to me. The first mistake that I made as a leader of people really was not asking questions. And I talk a lot about this when I'm doing talks to different companies, and really when I'm in a company with individuals who are just getting to know me and I'm getting to know them, always ask questions. When I first started as a leader, I made a ton of assumptions, and most of those were wrong. And I would say that if I had to do it all over again, or I could tell my younger self something, it would be to constantly ask questions. I try to ask very intelligent questions. Sometimes I miss that mark, but ask questions until you have a firm grip on whatever it is that you're working on. So you understand all of the components so you can make an educated, smart, and accurate decision in your path forward. Not asking questions is a big regret of mine from when I first got into leadership. And I definitely think it's an opportunity for a lot of people who think that they're supposed to know a lot and they're afraid to look silly, so they don't ask. And it's really important that we pluck up the courage to just ask the question and get the answer so we can move forward in a really smart way. What is the difference between a good leader and a great leader? For me, it's being kind and being human. I've written about this and I talk about this ad nauseum. We love to attach labels to ourselves. We label our leadership style. We label our learning style. At the end of the day, if we can't empathize and understand the people that we're supporting, we aren't going to be effective. If we don't understand the power of collaboration and allowing for creativity and off-the-wall ideas, we are going to have a very narrow idea of what our potential is, instead of exploring all of these opportunities and all of these ideas and really plucking out the best ideas and moving forward with that. I think great leaders are people. They're not machines. They're not robots. They're not people who spout management speak or speak in, very fancy terms. They are people who can connect with other people and people who value the other people that are around them. And I really think that is something that separates the good from the great. Don't label yourself. Just be the best person you can be and allow others to be the best version of themselves every single day that they can be. I am often asked how I measure success as a leader of people and a developer of talent. And there's two ways that I do it. First, very quantifiable ways of measurement. In my world, that means engagement, retention, customer experience scores, profitability, completion of products. I have a whole list of things that I measure success for myself as a developer of talent. In a different way, I measure in a more human way people that come to me as a resource. I want to be accessible and available to everybody who needs me, regardless of if I'm working with them now, if I've worked with them in the past. I get a certain sense of satisfaction when I get phone calls from people that I've worked with in the past who just want to run an idea past me because they trust my opinion and they trust me to give them sort of an uncensored point of view and perspective on whatever it is that they're calling me about. That's really how I measure success for myself personally in a non-businessy, quantifiable way. And that has always served me very well. I want to build relationships with people so that no matter what, there is a connection and there is a conversation, and it's not awkward or weird to pick up the phone and call them or for them to call me. I think that that's what being a leader and a mentor is truly about at the end of the day. You guys can find me a number of ways. My Excellence in Retail blog web address is www.cottoncanddyfshn.com. I can be reached via email at beth@excellenceinretail.com, or I always love phone calls. Feel free to reach out via the phone as well. Area code 646-246-1380. Thanks again.